Welcome back. You're watching and listening to Alastair Stewart and friends here on GBNews TV and radio. Now, my next guest, 46-year-old Vicki Knowles, didn't want her cancer struggle to be for nothing. So she started Wig Bank London, a website which provides top-quality donated wigs at a highly reduced price, specifically for women who have lost their hair as a result of chemotherapy. Now, wigs usually cost up to £100, but the Wig Bank London sells them for as little as £10, with the proceeds going to the South East London Breast Cancer Trust Select, the same charity that supported Vicki throughout her own cancer journey. And as I said, delighted to say she's sitting here in the studio with me now, looking great.
Thank you.
Feeling better, all done and dusted?
I hope so, yeah. It's been sort of just over a year since I was diagnosed.
Once you'd had your diagnosis and you knew that you were going into chemotherapy, were you told, was it all made clear to you what was likely to happen to you?
In regards to hair, you mean, or just in general? I mean, yes, they do go through it absolutely thoroughly. So my first consultation with my oncologist, he went through everything, and I think different ladies or different gentlemen have different regimes, and mine was going to be 4 of something called EC chemo, and the first 4 were the harshest. They were the most vile, and yeah, he said usually you will lose your hair about 15 days into the process.
In front of you, and I want you to hold it up so that that camera there can see it clearly. There it is, breast cancer. So not only the wig project, which is terribly important,
yeah,
and saves people money, because it will happen to them, that's no doubt.
Yeah.
But that's a brilliant book that you've penned yourself, which is other tips, warnings, reminders, preparatory things for any women who get that diagnosis.
Absolutely, yeah. So I started writing this. I mean, basically, when I started going through it, it became apparent to me that I was quite stoic, and that, I was possibly stronger than a lot of ladies who go through this. It became apparent when I was going to my sort of weekly chemo sessions. And the one thing that I would go dressed in, if you like, was this, which was my wig. So this was custom made for me. And I remember a lady who I met sort of weekly, and she sort of said to me, "You don't look sick, why are you here?" She said, "I know it's a silly question because I know why you're here." And I said, "Well, it's just this, and I'm bald as anything underneath." But at that moment, having spoken to her at the end of the day when I said goodbye, she said, you've helped me so much. And I just thought, I want to help other ladies. So apart from starting the Wig Bank, I started writing, because I really wanted to sort of share my tips and almost like a blueprint, because for me, when it happened, it was the most unbelievable thing. Yeah. You never imagine it's going to be you, because I think you can't possibly comprehend what it would feel like. I
said to you at the beginning about the Wig Bank particularly. Had you been, as it were, forewarned by your doctors and your medical team? Yeah. What's in the book that most surprised you that happened that you weren't expecting?
Do you know what? One of the things that I really didn't know was how little you're told. I mean, my medical team were amazing, but it's only with regards to standard treatment. So I discovered that there are a myriad of things that you can do to help yourself. Not only to stop the side effects from the chemotherapy, but to almost improve your prognosis. Things that I think the medical profession know about. They're starting to sort of cotton on to these things like off-label drugs, etc. But they're not standard treatments. So
what are the sort of things that the charity that I think, let's call it profits to cut to the chase, but the surplus that the Wig Bank makes, what are the other things that they do? Are they a research charity? Are they a support charity?
It was actually my amazing neighbour, Jackie, who, on my day of diagnosis, she was also a 5-year cancer survivor herself, breast cancer. So I messaged her and said, I've just been diagnosed, and she rushed over in her dressing gown and she hugged me, and it was her sister who was one of the co-founders of the South East London Breast Cancer Trust. So I was put in touch with them, and literally the day after my diagnosis, I was on a Zoom support call with them. And so they set it up because they wanted to raise money for hospitals that didn't have the latest equipment. But they also offer amazing support to people by doing a monthly support sort of catch-up. So that was invaluable for me, and I just wanted to give any...
Do some women also, as it were, need counselling to say, look, you know, the wig thing, yeah, not a big deal, it's fun?
I mean, yeah, for some ladies, it is the most devastating part of this happening to them, losing their hair. For me, it wasn't so much because, to be honest, my hair was pretty rubbish prior. So, and I knew about a lady called Jennifer Effie, who is a specialist hairdresser in London. So when I knew I was going to lose my hair, I got in contact with her. So she sort of measured my head up and she made this wig out of real hair. This costs a lot of money, and not everybody can afford that.
And may I ask what I suspect a lot of people listening and watching our conversation will be thinking at the moment, how are you at the moment?
I'm good. Thank you.
Remission?
I hope. Yeah.
Sorted?
Yeah. I mean, I was really, really lucky. It was caught early. I basically found something randomly. I just found a little sort of lump and I was lucky enough to have private health insurance through my job.
And what's the turnover of the Wig Bank? How many units, if I can call it that, are you looking for each week, each
Not
month,
many
each year?
at all at the moment, because I only started. So obviously it's only been just over a year since I was diagnosed. So I've fitted a lot into the year. I've written a book. I've set up a website to support ladies, and Wig Bank is part of that. So
if somebody listening, let's say, down in Kent, because a friend of mine, a MP down there, Tracy Crouch, whose sister shaved her head in support of her sister to show that, you know what, actually losing your hair is not the end of the world, and raised a lot of money for Tracy's charity as well. But if somebody listening down in Canterbury or anywhere else across the country wanted to do the Wig Bank thing as well, is it franchised?
No.
So it's online, just get in touch, you'll talk them through it?
Yeah, I mean, the original Wig Bank was set up by a lady called Elizabeth Cameron, I believe. So I got in touch with Elizabeth and I said, would you mind awfully if I set up something? And I think the reason why there's a regional sort of accent to it is because I think the idea with her was that you could eventually meet up locally. So you don't have to just look at the wigs online. You can go and see and try them on. And I would love to be able to do that eventually. So anybody, I believe, can set one up. She was really lovely when I got in touch, and she said, I'd be more than happy to help you through it. But I just wanted to do something, you know, I think because I was strong through my treatment and I felt physically strong and mentally strong, I just wanted to help other ladies. And it would be lovely if there was a thing for guys as well, you know.
Vicki Knowles, you've done a great thing for many people. The book is recommended for any women who have had the diagnosis, because it's not only about the wig thing, but the wisdom of Vicki is in that book as well there. And if you are kind enough to buy it, it's available online, I guess.
Amazon, Audible.
Amazon as well. There you go.
I've narrated.
Just hold it up once more so people can get the title of it. It is
Thank you.
Breast Cancer, and it's Vicki Knowles, and it's got an illustration that makes it crystal clear what it's talking about there on the front cover. So if you are embarking upon that journey, there's a guidebook that will help you. And thank you for everything that you've done for all of those women out there with the brilliant Wig Bank. And look it up if you think you can help them and support them.
Yeah, I need wig
because
donations.
it only works with the support of other people out there. Vicki Knowles, great to meet you.
Thank you so much.
And again, thank you very, very much indeed. Vicki Knowles, the founder of Wig Bank London. Now, time